Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics. Today I'm at the legendary CliffCon, but this is one of the few shows in the year in the huge Doubletree Hotel. Not only am I here as a shopper, but this is one of the only times of the year I'm actually here as a seller. I'm set up with my annoying friend Rick from Has-Been, Delightful Toys and Comics. We have Magic Geeks over there. It's going to be a fantastic time, guys. Not only do I want to get rid of some extra inventory, I'm hoping to leverage the stuff I get rid of for a really good book by the end of the day. So let's see how I do. It's gonna be a long day. So you see everyone is still setting up. There's an early bird door opening in a few minutes, and then the rest of the people come in about an hour from now. But you see people still setting up. J&S has most of their wall blank. There's Cliff himself, working hard. How you doing, Cliff?
Running, Mike.
Running, absolutely. This is my little modest setup. Yeah, I got my mediocre wall books back there. Most of the stuff, guys, I'm selling for $3 and under. Most of it's dollar books, actually. But yeah, this is when sort of all the last second deals happen between a lot of the vendors here, seeing what they have, seeing if they can make some, pretty good bargains right before the show starts. It's always kind of fun to watch. Yeah, just starting getting going now. A lot of people still aren't quite set up yet, but it's going to be a great show, guys. We're also promoting our holiday toy drive I've mentioned on my channel in the past. By the time this video comes out, this will have already happened, but we're trying to raise money for muscular dystrophy and toys for Toys for Tots, and I've already had some donations, so pretty cool. Hopefully this helps get the word out. And now here, of course, we have in the lobby 3 men in a basement. There's Otto. What's going on? What's going on, Otto?
Good to see you on this wonderful morning.
Yeah, I gotta wake up, but yeah, I'm excited.
Got it over here set up, ready to go.
I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm here. So. And this is some of the pre-con opening action here. We have some sellers from J&S Collectibles with my friends Magic Geeks. So I'm here with J&S Collectibles. Just grabbed some stuff from my friends Magic Geeks, and I was going to show these on the channel, but they're gone. Well, I guess they'll be across the way from me. But here we have First Craven the Hunter. Beautiful, number 7. We have, oh gosh, ASM number 2. Yeah, I did see this earlier. Wow, second one. And then we have, oh man, X-Men number 6. That's on my list of things. You just get that from them?
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys had an X-Men 6. Holding out on me.
Not anymore.
Oh, and the high grade 180. Yep, that is awesome. Oh yeah.
These are nothing crazy.
No, it's awesome. Wow, man, doors haven't even opened yet.
This book is awesome, man.
Yeah.
That weird chills is gonna crush on it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's nice for
Awesome
5.
bondage cover.
Yeah.
Yep.
High grade too.
Oh, yeah.
Nihilus.
Nihilus, Scarecrow.
I don't know if you're into it.
A flash. I'm gonna put flash over there.
Oh, Fat Flesh.
Got a chance to trade.
LD
Love
Cole.
those. Yeah.
3-0.
Terrorism.
First super book,
Another.
That's great.
Another LD Cole.
Yeah.
right?
Flash.
I didn't even know Josh had all these Golden
I
Age
didn't even
books.
look it up.
Eerie?
I just
Love
came back
Eerie.
here. I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's a great cover too, huh? Oh, you did get rid of the House of Secrets, Josh?
Yeah. That was supposed to go to lunch money at one point.
Yeah, well.
I sold it to him, so.
He did. Yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
bought it from him like
It goes around full
Yeah, I
circle.
just bought it back.
Oh, well. And if oh, the Green Hornet, cool. Very nice. Good work. So these are the first Marvel cards ever. Captain America, and it's a full set.
Yeah, it's nice shape too for these.
They come together.
And everything. You can fill in your own captions. See that?
Oh yeah,
So
write your
usually
own.
you find them with someone writing something.
Right. Wow. And this is a full set.
It's awesome.
Wow. These are awesome.
I think
Very
it's
cool.
66 cards, yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, I've never seen this in person.
1966 Don Russ.
Don Russ,
Yeah,
awesome.
Don Russ, man.
All right, so the early birds are now coming in. People are going around and buying, and yeah, just gonna wait around, see what happens. I have my one of my first customers here, looking for Hulk books and the Defenders. There's a lot of Hulk in the Defenders. And I have a visit from Eddie from the Batcave. What's going on, Eddie?
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Finally get to have that little
I
moment with
finally
each
got to
other.
meet. I know another comic book YouTuber lives, 2 towns away from me.
That's right.
We never met until recently.
Yeah, when Rick told me about you, You know,
Yeah.
and I was trying to beat you to Rick's before you did.
Oh,
And I heard
yeah.
about
You and everyone else.
it.
Yeah.
Rick goes, oh yeah, there was a guy. No,
Yeah.
he got in.
I didn't buy that much from Rick, so hopefully you got some good stuff. Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Oh, he's okay.
Former Hasbro employee.
Right. He keeps he's behind me lurking right now.
Be somebody.
Now I'm a has-been.
Yeah.
My whole store is a dad joke.
You're a walking dad joke. All right, guys. So it's 10 o'clock. The show has opened up to the general public, and people are definitely filling in now. It's going to be pretty busy for the next couple hours. It's a great show, and everyone looks forward to it. All right, I am here with Randy and Keith, who are fans of the channel, and Keith just gave me this card, which is a signed Dave Cockrum Wolverine card from 1992. Dude, that is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you for this and for watching, guys. Great to see you guys again.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
So I'm here with John Big Daddy Ross, awesome, a member of our local Connecticut comic scene, and he has this on his comic box, which is an actual signed Dave Cockrum picture of the X-Men. I didn't think I'd see one Dave Cockrum signature today, let alone two in 5 minutes.
Yeah, right?
All right, here we have Noah from Broke Boy Comics. You know, your first big comic show was this one a year ago.
It was.
And you've gone on to not only get some big books, but you started your own YouTube channel.
Yes.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
A year ago, I met you too.
That's right.
Yes, it
So
is.
congratulations on the your anniversary of your channel. And yeah, you looking for anything good?
We're gonna see. We brought some stuff to trade, so see if I can make some deals and balling on the budget today.
All right. Yeah, I hear that, man.
Always.
Yeah, always.
Always.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
All right, guys. I'm here with my friends, Spirit of Vengeance Collector and Cliff on Comics. What's up, guys?
Hello.
You having a good time at the big Cliff Con? Cliff on Comics at Cliff Con.
Right, and I'm trying to meet Cliff. I want to know where this Cliff is.
I think there's a third Cliff. Like I said, you're the third Cliff I know in this area.
I was like, well, I want to at least meet the Cliff who's running Cliff Con. I mean, you named the show after one of us, so I need to figure it out.
Oh, he's around here somewhere. All right, guys, it is getting really, really busy now. Look at this. There are people absolutely everywhere. Hey, guys. Awesome. All right, once again, here with Noah from Broke Boy Comics. He saw this awesome Swamp Thing number 9, and he's trying to save some money, so he had some trade books. And I traded for this Alien Worlds number 2, some good Dave Stevens. So awesome, man.
Good trade.
Fair trade, yeah, absolutely. Enjoy it. One of my favorites.
Mine too.
How's it going, Rick? Hey guys. I know. I didn't bring them. All right, it's 20 minutes before closing time. I sold a ton of cheap comic books. None of the big wall book stuff, but tons of dollar books. And I have a little bit of cash burning a hole in my pocket. So let's walk around, see if we can find some really good deals. So everyone's packing up now. But again, this is the time where you get the best deals. So I'm heading on over to Brickhouse Comics, see if there's anything that really, really speaks to me. A lot of it does.
That's a hard one.
I know. That's all right. Well, I said I'd look at some big books. I don't know if this one's on my budget for today, but this is the original first appearance of Groot. That's crazy. Tales of Astonish number 13. What a book. Wow. All right, so here I am with my friends Magic Geeks. I didn't need to go to a comic show to get this book from you guys, but this is the first appearance of Wonder Man, Avengers number 9. It does have a detached staple on the cover. Not in great shape at all, but Josh is going to give me a really great deal on this. Also, I have to throw in a beer. So, all right, man. Thanks. First purchase of the day. All right, I'm here with Scott from Foreign Objects Comics.
You got it.
And there's a book I'm interested in. It's a book I actually own, but this is a 9.8 of Strange Academy number 1, and this is the variant, the J. Scott Campbell one.
Correct.
Give me a great deal on that, contingent on the fact that we trade stickers.
Got to trade stickers.
All right, here you go, man.
Thank you, my
I really
friend.
appreciate it.
It's
Hey.
going on my laptop. Can't wait.
Great
Much
seeing
Money
you.
Comics for life.
Awesome. Trust him. I can't trust him. All right, guys. So that was a very successful big CliffCon. I sold a lot of cheap comic books, got a little bit of cash in my pocket, and even ended up with a couple of pretty cool comic books to boot. So let's go back to the house. I'll share with you guys my experience and show you everything that I got. So there you go. That was once again the big CliffCon down in Bristol, Connecticut. I've mentioned CliffCon on my channel 1,000 times, it seems. It's a comic book show put on at the end of almost every single month down in Connecticut, usually at a small VFW, but a couple of times a year. Cliff has one of these big shows in the giant Doubletree Hotel in Bristol, Connecticut. And I love going to this show, guys, because he's able to get some of the best vendors from all over New England, and it's an absolutely fantastic time. But of course, this time was a little bit different because I was actually set up there as a vendor. Guys, I always say this, I almost never sell comic books. As a matter of fact, I've only ever set up at a comic show one other time ever, and it was this exact same show exactly a year ago. Even then, I was set up with a friend, and I only brought like one short box of comics. This was really the first time I've ever been set up as a vendor all by myself. And I wasn't even really selling anything big. It was mostly just cheap dollar books. I have tons of back issues and inventory I'm trying to get rid of, save some room, also get a little bit of cash in my wallet before the end of the year. There's a lot of really big comic sales coming up. That was sort of the main idea. I would sell as many cheap things as I could find and then shop a little bit and do a more traditional, comic show video like I always do. But it was such a busy time and I had so much fun talking with people, friends in the area and in the hobby. I spent most of my time firmly at my booth just chatting people up. I didn't really have much time to shop, and because of that, I didn't end up with like one big book. That's fine. I ended up with two, but I definitely didn't break the bank, and I'm happy to have both of them. So before I show you guys what I got, I just need to give a quick shout out to the man himself, Cliff. Cliff, who puts on these shows. Not only does he do comic shows, he also does sports card shows. Nobody works harder to put on these shows than Cliff. I mean, guys, he is always running around, making sure everyone is accommodated, the sellers and the buyers, making sure people have access, they have everything they need, checking in with people, getting extra tables and chairs, and hand-delivering food. The guy is an absolute machine, and he truly cares about everyone that goes to these shows. So, Cliff, thank you so much for putting on these amazing events. I know everyone I talk to just absolutely adores them, and it really does so much for bringing our New England comic collecting community together. So, Cliff, you're the man. And guys, if you live in the Northeastern United States and you've never been to a CliffCon before, do yourself a huge favor and try to make one someday. You will not be disappointed. Oh, I almost forgot, a huge shout out to all the people that stopped by to say hi. People who are viewers of Lunch Money Comics. Yeah, a lot of people stop by just to say hi to me and tell me how much they appreciate the channel, and that means so much to me. Whether it was the first time I met you or the 10th time, it was wonderful speaking to every single one of you. That's the thing about these shows, guys. They're not just places to, buy and sell comic books. They're social events with a lot of like-minded people who are all into the same things. And I spent pretty much my entire time there talking with people about comic books and all sorts of other stuff. So they're just fantastic events. So I just want to say a huge thank you. If you stop by to say hi to me, guys, it means a real lot, and I really, really appreciate it. All that being said, before I show you these two books that I got, if you like this sort of stuff and you want to support the channel, head on down, like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. I actually want to share with you guys my quick thoughts on what it's like to set up at a comic show, especially from someone who doesn't really do it. One, it was fun. It was definitely a fun thing to do. It's really interesting when you're sort of pricing books. I'm one of those proponents of the fast nickel. The idea that you price things really, really cheap and just get rid of them, get some money in, and turn that into something else, So I was pretty happy to just put tons of books out there for $1. I was having a special sale on Spider-Man books. And those are the books that did well. Although I had a little selection of, nicer books, no one really cared. It was the cheap stuff. And talking with a lot of my other friends who were selling, it was sort of the same thing. It seems like people weren't buying really big stuff. People were just happy to try to save a buck and get cheaper stuff, which is totally fine. I mean, I think that it really is where the hobby is at right now. But because I was selling that cheap stuff, I actually did pretty good. I was able to make some room in the boxes I had down here, got rid of some boxes. But yeah, it's funny how quickly that all adds up. My first impressions, guys, yeah, it is kind of fun. I'm sure if I did it all the time, it gets a little bit more stressful. I was also very fortunate that I didn't have a lot of stuff. When I'm watching these bigger vendors move these entire walls of books, yeah, that's got to get very tiring, especially for some of those big vendors like J&S Collectibles. They were at a show the day before. I don't know how they do it, guys. It must be absolutely exhausting. Not something I'm going to make a habit of in the future, but it is fun every once in a while just to go and try to get rid of stuff. It was kind of fun being on that side of the table. So the first comic book I got from my buddy Scott at Foreign Objects Comics. Has some pretty cool stickers. Yeah, I met Scott in the past, bought things from him. He was actually set up across the way from me. So I was, chatting with him, before the show started. And when I was, he had a small section of wall books, and he told me that he actually had 20% off all the sticker prices on those books. Well, there was one book I was interested in, and I figured if it was still there by the end of the show, it was a good enough deal, I would jump on it. Well, at the end of the show, he still had it, and this is absolutely a book I've owned in the past, but you'll see why this is just slightly different. Also, not a book you'd ever think I would really want. It is this. So this is Strange Academy #1. It's from 2020. Story by Scotty Young. He's often known for his art. He actually wrote the story, art by Humberto Ramos. This is a special variant cover by J. Scott Campbell. And you see, this is slabbed as a 9.8. So let's first talk about the Strange Academy story. This is a modern comic book, of course, and although I collect vintage comic books, and I definitely wouldn't say I collect modern comic books, I certainly read them. Usually I'm reading X-Men related titles, but when I hear about a really cool story, I usually want to check it out, and that's why I checked out Strange Academy. I actually own the first couple volumes of the trade paperback of this, and I loved it. Basically, the idea behind it is that it is a magical school in the Marvel Universe. Think sort of like Harry Potter in Marvel Comics. You have lots of kids who are magic users from all over the multiverse, really. We have humans, we have mutants, we have Asgardians, people from different dimensions. All these kids are going to the school, and the teachers are different magic users in Marvel Comics. So, of course, the founder of the school is Doctor Strange. We have Dr. Voodoo. We have Scarlet Witch. We have Ileana Rasputin Magic. They're sort of the teachers. Yeah, and it's a really cool storyline. And the reason I really wanted to get into it initially is I thought my son would really like it. And he did. My son read the first volume, and he really enjoyed it. And because it's all these sort of young students and kids, this series introduced us to a lot of brand new characters, and they're noted, of course, up here on the slab. We have the first appearance of Emily Bright. She's sort of like the main character. We have Doyle Dormammu, who is actually the son, the child spawn of Dormammu. Very interesting character. I like him very much. We have Shaylee Moonpetal, Calvin Morris, Desi, Hermione, Gooselog, Zoe, Alvi, Eirik, and Toth. So lots of new young characters get introduced in this series. And yeah, guys, listen, there's been, sort of speculation that they could do a story like this or a Disney Plus thing. People always talk about that stuff. Guys, I simply got into this book because I liked the story, and it was something I thought my kids would like too, and we would share it. Because of that, I actually own this very variant of this book. I got it at the end of last year at a comic sale. I got it actually for a great price. And I'm looking at this slab right here, the way Scott has it priced, and it actually wasn't too much more than the raw copy I got last year. And yeah, just seeing it, guys, I knew I could get a good deal on this book, and I could just then, sell or trade my other copy to pay for most of this. So that's why I got it. I ended up getting this for $80, which again, isn't much more than the price that I got my last one for, and then you add in the slab price. I thought it was a good deal. Again, I'm not a big modern comic collector, and absolutely not a big slab fan, but this seemed like a pretty good deal. Let me know down in the comments if you think $80 for this is good. Let me know if you've read the series and what you think of it. I quite enjoyed it. So the second book that I want to show you is one I've wanted for a while, and I actually got it from my friends, Josh and Larry of Magic Geeks. Yeah, I could have bought this at any time, but of course I ended up getting it at this show. As I mentioned, guys, I was set up not only with them, but my good friend Rick from Has-Been Collectible Toys and Comics, who you may have noticed is a complete goofball. It makes it really hard for me to make a YouTube video. He's a fun guy to hang around, though. But yeah, guys, I went over to Magic Geeks, and they actually had a lot of comic books I've been interested in, including one they sold before the show started. You saw that they sold that House of Secrets 92 first appearance of Swamp Thing to J&S Collectibles. I feel bad. I forgot that Josh had that. It's one I've had my eyes set on. I probably would have got that as my big book on the day. Oh, well, they got a really good deal from the J&S guys on it. So, oh, well, I had to settle for this one here instead. But like I said, it's a book I've wanted for a while, and it's a pretty cool one. And it is this. This is the Avengers #9 from 1964, written by Stan Lee, pencils by Don Heck, although the cover is Jack Kirby. Dick Ayers did the inking, and this is known as the first appearance of one Simon Williams, better known as Wonder Man. Yeah, this is the first appearance of Wonder Man, who is a very iconic and longtime member of the Avengers. However, not only is this his first appearance, he's actually in this as a villain, and he dies at the end. But of course, because he died, he never came back after this. I'm kidding. It's a comic book death. Of course, he came back in Avengers number 151. But at the time, it seemed like he was actually dead. Like I said, he was a villain in this because in this story, he's actually a convict that gets recruited by Baron Zemo, the Enchantress, and the Executioner. And they basically lure him into their plot to defeat the Avengers by giving him superpowers and having him join the Avengers as sort of a sleeper agent to defeat them from within. And to that end, they end up bombarding him with ionic radiation that makes him super strong and pretty much invulnerable. However, to further control him, they tell him that, that radiation that was just bombarding your body and gave you superpowers, it's actually poisoning you. Baron Zemo has the only antidote. You better do what he says. So he infiltrates the Avengers and is shocked that they're super nice. They actually care about him and they actually want to cure him. So then the plan goes into motion. He starts fighting the Avengers and actually he kind of kicks their butt. But then he starts to have a change of heart throughout the story, so much so that at the end he ends up betraying the bad guys. It results in him succumbing to the poison and dying at the end. So, pretty cool story. And again, if he didn't really come back not too much longer afterwards, in and of itself, by its own standalone story, it's pretty cool and it was kind of different for the time. But I also like to bring up a really cool story associated with this book, and that is one that involves George R.R. Martin, the author of A Song of Ice and Fire, or Game of Thrones to most people. George R.R. Martin, I think a lot of people know, was a big comic reader as a kid, and not only would he read all these books, he would write letters in to the editors. He read this book, and then I think in Avengers number 12, they published one of his letters where he praised this book, and he praised the fact that it wasn't a traditional story. Here we're introduced to this new character who seems to be, right here on the front, a new character that's going to be around for a while. And he is a character that isn't really wholly good or evil. He's in shades of gray. Not only that, he dies at the end, which is not something you really saw in comic books at the time. George R.R. Martin loved this. It wasn't the traditional stories you get in, the Batman and the Superman stories. In fact, something he actually talked about in a future interview. He didn't really like the DC stories because Batman and Superman would have a conflict, they resolve it, the story would end, and then the very next, issue, it would be like nothing ever happened. Well, Marvel was doing things different at the time under Stan Lee. And for those of you that are familiar with George R.R. Martin, he loves his great characters, and he also isn't shy about killing off main characters. He would refer to this later on, Wonder Man, and this specific story as being one that really inspired him in his own writing, which I thought was fantastic. So, as a George R.R. Martin fan, I've always had a special place in my heart for this book and for the character of Wonder Man. And of course, being an iconic Avenger character, I would want their first appearance, and I have the Marvel trading cards. So I've been looking for the first appearance of Wonder Man for a while. I knew Josh and Larry had this one. It's in pretty beat up shape. It's pretty dark and stained. It is detached on the bottom staple, just on the cover. But when the deal's good, guys, you get it. Josh sold this to me for $60 as long as I get him and Larry a beer, which I probably would have gotten them one anyways. So yeah, great book, guys. $60 I think is a fantastic deal for this. Let me know down in the comments if you are a fan of this iconic Avengers character. So there you go, guys. Head on down to the comments. Let me know which of my pickups you like the best. Let me know what you think of the footage that you saw. Let me know if you set up at comic shows and what your experience is like. I'm very happy with both these books, guys. I spent $140 for both of them. I think that is a great deal. I do want to point out, none of these really broke the bank, and, that was sort of something I had in the back of my mind. Maybe I'd sell some comics and buy something bigger, like that House of Secrets 92. However, I'm kind of glad I didn't. One, I ran out of time to really make a deal for a lot of the books I saw. People packed up pretty quickly. But number two, there's a ton of year-end sales coming up in my area. I mean, a ton of them. There always is. Lots of local comic book shops do this, but it seems like I know of a lot more happening this year, not only for, Christmas and New Year's, but also upcoming Thanksgiving at the time I'm recording this. And I know it's definitely going to put a dent in my wallet. So I'm happy to hold on to the money I made, selling at this show, and hopefully I can leverage that into some pretty big stuff. And I also want to point out, follow me on Instagram, because I will link or at least announce a lot of the sales I'm planning to go to. Maybe I will even see you at one of them. So that's it, guys. Once again, comment down below. Let me know what you think of everything. And in the meantime, keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places, and also big local comic book shows. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.